The First Coast's most accurate forecast from the First Coast News Weather Team, certified by WeatherRate, sponsored by AC Designs.
Hello, everyone. I'm meteorologist Lee Southwick. Thank you for joining me on a Sunday evening. We are tracking storms, you can see them there on your screen, that are heading our way. And we will see some storms with a lower severe weather risk than what they're experiencing there by Monday afternoon and Monday evening, depending on where you are on the First Coast. And then behind it, just plain old steady rain. So we do have a weather impact alert in effect for tomorrow, 3 p.m. until 3 3 a.m. So Monday, 3 p.m. until Tuesday, 3 a.m. This system has been wreaking havoc across the country. I turned off the radar there just to show you all those flood alerts that are still in effect behind this storm system. Now it's moving through Georgia, and unfortunately, not only has it caused flooding, but it has spun up tornadoes. We've seen damage reports, and now it is weakening as it moves to the southeast. Right now, luckily, no severe thunderstorm warnings or tornado warnings out there. But what I want to show you here is you see that line that just moved across Macon with all that lightning flashing towards Augusta? So there's first some storms out ahead of the main steady line of rain, and those storms have the potential of being severe, though it's a low risk, when it moves into our area, mainly across southeast Georgia. And then notice behind it, you get another round of rain. That's the rain that's over Atlanta to Montgomery, up towards Athens, more of that steady rain that will then move over our area behind that initial line, bringing that just flooding threat, but it'd be a very localized flooding threat. So right now, if you're trying to enjoy your Sunday evening, not too bad out there. We are quiet. We are warm for this time of year. Today, we reached a record high of 90 degrees. So that ties the record that was set back in 1947. So this was an extremely warm day. And now we're going to turn our attention to the heat for one more day, and then the storms moving in. And by the way, I can't remember if I said this off the top. I do want to let you all know I am watching Facebook right now for comments. So if you do have any comments or questions, please feel free to ask them on the Facebook feed. So overnight tonight, notice how mild it's staying. Usually we are in the middle 50s for our overnight lows. Our low temperatures will be near 70 degrees. And then after that mild start, we warm up. Our highs will jump into the upper 80s to near 90 out ahead of that rain and storms. So tomorrow's high temperature, here's a map. Notice Waycross, you stop at 83, and that's because likely you could get some cloud cover, some rain, maybe a thunderstorm that stops that peak afternoon heating because you're going to get the rain first. Meanwhile, places like the Jacksonville area, they have the ability there to continue to warm up towards 90 degrees. So a very warm day all across the First Coast, just warmer for some of you. We got a couple of 90s there popping up as well on the map. I believe that's 90 for Palatka too. So very warm day before the rain arrives. If you are going to the beach tomorrow, you can make it before the rain arrives, but please be aware that there is a moderate risk of rip currents tomorrow. Also burn time around 20 minutes, and it'll be breezy to windy with winds out of the south, 15 to 20 miles an hour. So then the rain chances do arrive later in the day. We are starting the weather impact alert at 3 p.m. That is for Waycross. That's not saying all of the First Coast will see rain starting at 3. The rain coverage increases, as you can see, closer to 10 o'clock as we head towards midnight, and that's because the rain starts to overspread more of the First Coast. So as for your timing, as mentioned, 3 p.m. is the start, but it ends at 3 a.m. So it starts at 3 p.m. in places like Waycross. It ends at 3 a.m. for places like St. Augustine, really Marineland, points south. So your impacts, showers, downpours, and the possibility of a few strong storms. So this could create some issues during the evening commute for some of you, and outdoor evening plans, practices, just depending on where you are across the First Coast. And I promise you, I'm going to show you a model in just one moment. But first, I wanted to show you this. This is from the Storm Prediction Center. They did bump up our severe weather risk today, though it's not high. So those of you in yellow, that's a slight risk. That's a level 2 out of 5. So it's still a lower threat overall. And the green color, that's a marginal risk. That's a level 1 out of 5. So that's the lowest threat of severe weather. Still, it's not 0. So it's something we're watching closely. They say the main potential, and we see it and we agree with the models that we've looked at. The main concern in tomorrow's storms would be severe wind gusts, 40 to 60 miles an hour, so damaging wind gusts. Also the heavy rain in some low-lying areas that could create a bit of isolated, localized flooding. And then we also can't rule out the possibility of an isolated, brief tornado. The risk of Really, the tornado risk goes down after sunset, so I'm more concerned across southeast Georgia. But still, for everyone, it is something we will watch. All right, here's one model that shows you the possible timing. So as mentioned, it could arrive to places in southeast Georgia like Waycross closer to 3 p.m. These are your isolated thunderstorms out ahead of that main range shield. And so these are the thunderstorms that could become severe with the wind gusts, with the tornado risk. Some of those isolated storms will work their way into northeast Florida in the evening hours, and that's when that more steady rain moves into the Waycross area. Here with Waycross, I'm not concerned about the severe weather risk with that, but I would be more concerned about flooding. If there are any areas in southeast Georgia that got a heavy downpour with the initial thunderstorms that popped up in the afternoon and the ground's already saturated, then if you get steady rain behind it, that could lead to that localized flooding risk. So around sunset, watching for some strong storms across northeast Florida and more of that steady rain moving into southeast Georgia. That steady rain then pushes into northeast Florida around 10 p.m., 11 p.m., midnight, still over the Jacksonville metro area. So hopefully some good sleeping weather for some of you. This, again, should just be steady rain, but we'll watch out for some localized flooding. That rain then continues to push southeast. The line continues to fall apart into early Tuesday morning. So we can't rule out a few showers out there for our southern areas early Tuesday morning. But pretty much for everyone, the rain will be done. And notice those wind arrows coming down. That's the cooler air moving into the first coast. So Tuesday afternoon, our high temperature will be around 72 degrees. So we'll go from a high Monday near 90 to a high closer to 70 on Tuesday. So if you're going to the Clay County Fair, because I know a lot of people in our area heading that way, and you like the cooler air, more fair like weather, I would say. That starts on Tuesday, temperatures in the 70s. By Thursday, you're going to be near 80 again. But Monday, if you're heading out there tomorrow, it will be probably feeling hot for a lot of you with those temperatures near 90. Heat index values could actually be in the lower 90s, but we will be watching out for an evening shower. Now, our high temperatures at the airport, these are the numbers that you see on our 7-day forecast. Our temperatures dropping into the 70s on Tuesday, but lower 70s, and that is actually cooler than normal for this time of year. So we have spent several days well above average, near record heat. Again, today we tied that record high. Yesterday we hit 90 as well. Tomorrow will be close, and then we drop into the 70s. So hopefully a lot of you get to enjoy it, but it will be a little bit of I won't say a shock to the system, but you'll definitely notice that it's feeling cooler out there. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Friday we do get towards the 80s again, but I think another cool front moves through and kind of drops us back into the 70s on Saturday. So that cool front could bring rain Friday into Saturday, but then the cooler air arrives again over the weekend. So over the next 7 days, a bit of a roller coaster ride really over the next, 2 days, because we do have the weather impact alert on Monday. And again, it's for the afternoon, evening, and overnight hours. I'm going to quickly check Facebook to see if anyone has any questions. Okay. Nope, I don't see any questions. All right, so look at your 7-day forecast. The weather impact alert is in effect from 3 p.m. until 3 a.m. So tomorrow morning, you should be okay. Tomorrow afternoon, it's getting very warm. And then around 3 p.m., that's when it arrives to the Waycross area. And from there, those storms will slowly move to the southeast and move over northeast Florida. And that will continue into early Tuesday morning. And then it is cooler. So make sure to stay weather aware tomorrow afternoon and evening. Again, the risk is low, but not zero for a severe thunderstorm or the possibility of some localized flooding. So we will keep a very close eye on it for all of you. Make sure to tune back in tomorrow. Of course, we'll be bringing you updates throughout the day as we approach this weather impact alert and those storms approach the first coast. Thanks for joining and have a wonderful rest of your Sunday evening.